here at Missouri, when I took this job, my teaching is almost exclusively in nutrition, and so I co-teach a large nutrition combination feeds and feeding class. So I teach a lab. I teach 8 1-hour labs a week. It's a flipped classroom design, so the students watch a lecture online, and then they come into the lab, and we work through the hand-by-hand calculations of calculating requirements, dry matter, as fed, and then go into the basics of algebra formulation on paper. And so that's an entire semester. And then towards the end of that class, we demo Best Mix as a least cost software and saying, okay, we did this diet on paper. You did, 5 pages worth of calculations. This is how it's done. And this is when you do it in a computer. And so we introduce the software to them. We don't really go into utilizing the software yet. That comes in their next class. And so they take that nutrition class as a junior, and then they have an option to take either ruminant nutrition or monogastric nutrition as a senior level course. And I teach the monogastric nutrition class. And so I taught that this past fall. We had 90 students in that class. And so we taught 90 students how to do least cost formulation. And we did that in a team-based learning framework. So we paired students up to teams to 4, got them access to the software. And then we did a step-by-step program building of how we utilize the software. So it started from, okay, you've been assigned either broilers or growing pigs. What ingredients do you need? What specs do you need? How do you determine if you have the right nutrient specs in the software? And then we move into requirements and then formulating with that. And then from there, we go through a series of exercises as a group of what happens when you put too many constraints on, or if the cost of energy changes, or if you use a different energy system. So we work through all of those the things that you learn by doing when you're utilizing software. And then we turn the students loose and say, okay, you get to pick any monogastric species that you want, and you can formulate a diet for them. And I'll tell you, it's quite fascinating what they come up with. We had diets for tortoises, turkeys, horses, dogs, cats, and everything. And so they had to do both fixed formulation and least cost formulation. But they get to understand, the basics of the system, but then apply it to something they're interested in. And to me, I think that gives students buy-in. Okay, we're not just learning a software, we're learning a software, but we're learning the why behind it and then able to apply it to other animals.